have been talking about. I know I'm coming to the issue a little bit late after Obama made these statements, but people said that they like to hear my perspective on this. What I'm going to do tonight in this short video is I'm going to bring the receipts to bear. In this title, I said that former President Obama is a hypocrite for calling black men out as it relates to voting for Kamala Harris. And I stand on that. He's a hypocrite, and I'm going to show you the evidence tonight why he's a hypocrite. This is a man who wasn't even sure that he wanted to support Kamala Harris himself. I'm going to repeat that again, because Obama, he was in that White House because we put him in that White House. But Obama, at the very beginning of this situation, because he's at the hip with Joe Biden, Obama didn't jump out the window and endorse Kamala Harris. This is the main point I'm going here. He did not jump out the window originally before anyone else and endorse this woman. His endorsement came in at the last minute, along with him and Michelle. No shade to Michelle, but it's just a fact. And so he comes in late out of the game and tries to point his finger at black men, and then has the audacity to make the accusation that black men are sexist. No, all men can be sexist, not just black men, white men, Asian men. All men can be sexist. And yes, there can be an element of sexism that's happening within this election season. But to point blank say to black men that black men are not voting for Kamala Harris because we are sexist, other than addressing the fact that, well, maybe black men have issues that we would like to be addressed from this administration. Why not find out why are black men pulling their votes away than just going to the common low denominator, which is to say, oh, it's just got to be sexism. Wait a minute. Don't black men have the right to want to vote for a candidate that has issues that are relevant to black men's issue? Now, obviously, we know that Kamala Harris has come out with her plan for black men as it relates to business. Now, one of the things that I thought was disturbing is that the first thing she jumps out the window with is marijuana, cannabis, and cryptocurrency. And everybody knows that cryptocurrency right now has become a big damn scam.
Tell the truth.
How about you create regulations for cryptocurrency when you got everybody's mama, daddy, you see it on social media, everybody's trying to sell you Bitcoin and you don't even know if it's legitimate. Hell, even Tom Brady and various entertainers got scammed in Bitcoin investments. Then there's the whole thing, well, black people, we love marijuana, so let's push the marijuana cannabis business towards black men because we know that that's a black thing. Low-hanging fruit, stereotypical type stuff that's part of her so-called black plan for black men, because Kamala Harris is losing not only ground when it comes to black people, when it comes to voting. We know that, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you nothing but facts, but the facts tonight, we know that for all intents and purposes, we know that Joe Biden made all sorts of promises about he's going to be the social justice president and what have you. And we know that Kamala Harris was his vice president. And people are saying that in the time that she's been in office for almost 4 years now, why didn't the Biden administration, along with Kamala Harris, I know she's the vice president, so she doesn't have complete control because the administration is run by the president. And let's be honest, vice presidents have always been figureheads. But why didn't she introduce this plan to why didn't they implement this when they were in office under Joe Biden? Why wasn't this implemented? Why at the last minute, when the clock is ticking, now you've got an uptick of Kamala Harris getting on social media, getting on podcasts, talking to black media all of a sudden, going to the Roland Martins of the world. And I don't know why everybody thinks that Charlemagne, I'm not going to call him a god, he's no god of mine. I don't know why everybody thinks that Charlemagne, let me say his name correct. Why does everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that's listening right now tonight, why is it that people think that he's got the ear of the black community, that if you go to him or the Breakfast Club, that somehow that's the inroad to the black community, is if the black community is at the hip of the Breakfast Club or at the hip of Charlemagne? Come on, give me a break. Then they give the excuses. Well, she started the election late in the game. But no, if you knew, the Democratic Party knows that they can't win elections without black people. And for you to run this election and don't make inroads with black people early on and then wait to the last minute, and then you pull this man out, Barack Obama, to sort of wag his finger at us as if we're children. You throw this man out with his funny fingers to wag his fingers at black men in particular and tell us what we need to be doing and what we should not be doing. And what was crazy about it, everybody, is that he goes to Kamala Harris's campaign office where you already got black men there supporting her. So you saw a few black men in the background. And I'm asking myself, I'm wondering who the hell was Barack talking to? Who the hell was he wagging his finger at? Because most of the black men that were at that campaign headquarters are already supporting Kamala Harris. They're already seeing her as viable to be the next president. So certainly not all black men fall under Barack Hussein Obama's criteria that somehow black men are just sexist in this country we call America. I don't know where Barack Hussein Obama gets this from, but if he really wanted to talk to black men, why didn't he take his raggedy ass into the black community and talk to black people? Matter of fact, Barack Obama hasn't talked to black people since he's got out of office. He could have easily had a town hall meeting. He could have gone to local barber shops, just like he did when he ran for president. He could have done a variety of things to talk to black men where they were, grassroots on that level, to make these accusations. Because if he would have talked to real black men, then he would have heard from real black men that would have told him, well, this is the reason why I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. He didn't do that. He simply talked down to black men, talked at black men, but did not talk with black men. And Obama has always been late to the class, late to the barbecue. He's always been $1 short and a quarter half short as well. And now he wants to come to black men and tell us this. And see, this is not the first time that Obama has disrespected black men like this. He has a long history of doing this. And I think that he does this because I don't think Barack Obama, Hussein Obama, I don't think Obama has ever really had a true connection to the black community. His connection to the black community comes through Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama is a real sister girl from Chicago. That was his inroad. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me out tonight. That was Obama's inroad to his blackness coming out of Chicago. This is a man who was mainly raised by his white grandmother and father. Father is Kenyan. Mother was white. And he had no connection to the lineage of black people that come out of these slave plantations in America. He has no connection to that, no lineage to that. Just like Kamala Harris. They're both the same. They both have no connection to black American culture in terms of how black Americans grew up based on lineage. Not saying that they're not black, but they don't have that lineage. And so that's one of the reasons why I believe Barack talks down to black people. When it came to the issues of reparations, he never did anything about that, never really made any noise about it, because how can he, when his history, his lineage doesn't lead him in the direction of our lineage? He doesn't know anything about having great grandparents and family members that were slaves on plantations in America. He doesn't have any family members that were victims of Jim Crow, black codes, and Reconstruction. He doesn't have a history or a lineage of family members that had their land taken from them, blighted. He doesn't have that history in his background. So therefore, he can't understand or relate to why black people feel the way we feel when it comes to issues of reparations and how we look at Barack Obama in terms of the question of whether he was black enough, and the question of whether he did anything that really benefited black people directly. We know that black people lost a lot of wealth in terms of the home market, buying homes under Barack Obama. Okay. And I know he's famously known for the Affordable Care Act, but the Affordable Care Act is an insurance policy, everybody. He cut a deal with the insurance company. It's not a health plan. It's an insurance plan. Be it that they don't charge you for pre-existing conditions to be able to discriminate against you from getting certain health. What he did is he cut a deal with the insurance companies, and they were down with it because they realized we're going to get every man, woman, and child, and damn it, maybe even cats and dogs, because we were mandated to get it. You were mandated to get the affordable care, because part of the deal is that the insurance companies, these medical insurance companies, would double their profits by getting every man, woman, and child, and dog and cat if they could get it too. Therefore, they had no problem with working with Barack Obama and his administration, because they saw in the end they were going to make more money than they are making what they were making in the previous existence of their plans and their HMO plans. That's what that was, everybody. Let's keep that very clear. Let's tell the truth about that. And now Barack Obama, after 8 years, he's living high in the Hamptons. He's living high out there, living high on the hog. He's living good. And now he wants to tell black men that are out here maybe struggling to make ends meet, struggling to stay above water in this crazy economy that we're in. And now he wants to tell black men about you. Maybe it's because she's a woman, but maybe black men have their reasons based on her policies. Maybe some of the policies that she implemented in San Francisco and California, where I lived, where I'm very familiar with those policies. I'm very familiar how it impacted black men in San Francisco. I'm just being in the Bay Area in general when she was governor, not governor, but when she was the attorney general of California. She was district attorney. She was the district attorney of San Francisco. Then she bumped herself up to becoming, with the help of various politically astute individuals in the Bay Area, like a Willie Brown, she was able to elevate herself to become the Attorney General of California. Let me turn this off here. I appreciate everybody that's here tonight, cranking this channel back into the algorithms. Got to get it back into the algorithms again. Hit 7 if you're here. You're with me. A lady 747. Thank you for being here. Tiffany, thank you for being here. I'm just going to tell it like it is. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying to everybody, by no means am I a fan of Trump. Am I wanting to support Trump? I have problems with both of these political parties, both the Democrats and the Republican Party, and I'm going to show you tonight because both these parties are problematic. I have problems with Trump, and I'm going to expose Trump tonight in some video clips that I have of Trump that we need to be mindful of. If you decide to vote for this man, all of this political season has been a complete train wreck. It's been a complete train wreck, and you have to choose who you feel is the best candidate for the issues that you feel are important to you. But I'm simply here to let you know that Barack Obama said the things that he said, and I didn't appreciate it because I'm going to say what Nina Turner said. He didn't say this to any other group of men. Why is it that black men are the only ones that have been lectured to this political season, but he didn't go out and call out Asian men, Latino men, white men who may not want to vote for her because she's a woman or because she's a woman of what's the popular term they use today? Color. And I hate that term. Don't use that term, folks. We're not people of color. But he didn't call out. He didn't say, well, white men, maybe you white men, maybe you Asian men, maybe you Latino men, maybe you men of other groups and races. Maybe you don't want to vote for Kamala Harris because maybe you just might be sexist. He didn't call out any other group of men, but he called out black men. And the Democratic Party has been doing this sort of stuff for a very long time. They have been disrespectful to black men, coming out with ads. Remember the ads that they came out, get your booty to the polls, where they had strippers in Atlanta, Georgia, trying to promote a campaign to get black men to go out and vote. So what did they do? They solicit black men by getting a couple of strippers in Atlanta, Georgia, to do a commercial to convince black men to get our booties to the poll. It was disrespectful and unrespectful to us. Then they did another campaign when they had, what's that rapper? I guess he's non-binary, whatever the hell you call this, gay, whatever. And he came out with an ad telling black men that if you don't vote, you're not getting any coochie. And then they give it to us with a bunch of women booty dancing around. And then you put a man on there, clearly a man who is part of the, what do we call it? Alternative lifestyle. You know, he's got nails, makeup on, and a damn beard. And you're like, what the hell is this? This is what they're promoting to black men. So the Democratic Party have sponsored a lot of nonsense towards black men that I do not appreciate. And I don't know how any other black man out there, or even a black woman out there, even if you're for Kamala Harris and you support her, I don't know how any of you out there can appreciate the things that Barack Obama said towards black men. And this is what's sad about it, everybody. This is what's sad. Barack Obama didn't, this is the problem. He goes after black men, but yet Kamala Harris is losing ground even with black females. I'm going to show you the numbers. You see, this is what I originally wanted to say when I put Joe Biden up. Joe Biden got 90% of the black vote. He had 93% of the black female vote. Kamala Harris is nowhere near that. Okay? He got 83% of the black male vote. Kamala Harris is nowhere near that. So this is the thing. Barack Obama had no business saying what he said to black men because he actually impacted the messaging of Kamala Harris in her pursuit to attract black men with questioning whether we were not going to vote for her because of her being a female. But what he failed to not recognize is that how about you give that same speech to black women, because black women, the voting numbers are not that far from where black men are. I'm going to show you the stats tonight. Let me put this first stat up right now to clear up all bullshit. Presidential support amongst black voters. This is the latest data that came out in a news article. Voter share and victory margin for 2016 and 2020 are averages of the following estimate from studies of validated voters by Pew Research Center. Okay, this is, yes, where's your source? Here are the sources. Post-election assessment. Okay, now check this out. Back in 2016, 92% of the black vote that the Democrats had when it was about Joe Biden. Republican in 2006, that being Trump in this case. Let's just be clear about this. Trump only got 7% of the black vote overall. In 2020, the Dems once again got 90% of the vote. Donald Trump and company got about 9% of the vote. Let me put this back up here. 9% of the vote. And in 2024, with Kamala Harris being the candidate right now, it's dropped to 78%. And now Donald Trump is getting a 15% share of the black vote. That's still a drop in the bucket in comparison to what Democrats still get. This is why it's foolish to get on social media, to get into back and forth debates with black people about the whole issue around Kamala Harris and Trump, and, well, black men are not going to vote for her, because even if there are a lot of black men on social media saying they're not going to vote for her, even if there are black men in the community that are saying they're not going to vote for her, 15% is not the majority of the black vote that Donald Trump is getting. The Democrats are still going to will the larger number. But the problem is that Kamala Harris doesn't have the same appeal. I don't care how much people like her or how much you want to sister girl her or what have you. She doesn't have the same appeal as Barack Obama when he ran, and nobody's going to get Barack Obama's numbers because Barack Obama was like a comet shooting in the sky. He was a one-time situation where you had a black man who we never thought was going to compel himself to being the first, what I would call, what they called black president. That was a one-time deal why he overwhelmingly dominated with the black vote, because we had never seen that before. And let's be really honest, everybody, nobody voted, most black folks never knew who the hell Barack Obama was and did not really pick up steam with wanting to support him. And to those white folks, the old saying, white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. It wasn't until he won in Iowa, in the caucuses that they had in Iowa, when he won the caucuses in Iowa and those white folks put their hands on him and said, we bless this Negro to be the next president, that when black people saw that, that's when you all jumped out of your damn window and decided to support Barack Obama. And a lot of people supported him because they felt, oh, Barack's going to get us reparations. He's a black man. Black people going to get all this stuff like that. You guys, you were living in a dream, just like I was. You're living in a dream. Presidents are nothing but figureheads. They don't run shit. The people who run this country are in the Congress. They're in the Senate. And what I notice on YouTube, when people get to running their mouth about politics, it is very clear to me that a lot of us do not understand how the political game works outside of the individual. We get too caught up in individuals. People are caught up in the individual of Trump, the individual Kamala Harris. These people are figureheads. They tell you whatever they're going to tell you so they can get elected. They can't do half of the shit that they say they want to do because there's other power brokers that control them. I'm going to show you a video by Farrakhan talking about this very thing. Fred Hampton said that black people need a political education. We got to think beyond just the person who's in the White House. You got to think about how other branches of the government operate. But Barack had no business saying the things that he said to black men, because black people in general and black men overall have been very loyal to this political party. Let me show you something else that shows you how goofy Barack Obama was. A new poll which shows Harris with an overwhelming lead also shows the vice president with 69% support among black national registered voters. A recent New York Times Sierra College poll found that 78% of black likely voters support Harris, but consider Biden needing 92% of black supporters to defeat Trump in 2020, and Hillary Clinton got 91% of the black vote in 2016, according to peer research. Now, this is why Barack had no business talking to black men like this, because black women's votes are not overwhelmingly the way they were for both Hillary or Joe Biden in comparison to Kamala Harris. So if you're going to, how can you just call out black men and say that black men are being sexist when the black women's vote is not that far away from the black men's vote in this election season? And then how can you also do this when, Barack, you came into this whole thing late? You were the last person to endorse this woman because you wanted them to create what? You wanted them to be a primary. You wanted her to be primary, Barack. For someone who's claiming, why are black men on the fence? Dude, you wanted this woman to be primaried. You weren't in favor at the very beginning of her just getting it. Black voters support Harris over Trump and Kennedy by a wide margin. Black registered voters overwhelmingly support Vice President Harris over former President Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy. So if black people overwhelmingly still support Kamala Harris, despite all her ills, all our issues, why are we going around here saying that black men are overwhelmingly not going to vote for her when that's a small number of black men? That's 15%. Let me also wake y'all up with some more data here. Check this out. This is from peer research. Most black voters favor Harris over Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy Jr. But check it out. Check out how close the votes are between black men and black women. All black voters, Harris leans 77%. Men are at 73%. Black women are at 79%. Only 16% of the 73% of black men that support Harris are leaning to Trump, according to the pre-research. It was 15% on one. So you know these numbers, 16% parts pre-research. This is of 2024. Out of that 73, 16%. Okay? Women, 10% of black women are leaning towards Trump out of the 79% of black women that are going for the Democrats, in this case, Kamala Harris. Ages 18 through 49 are voting for Harris at 68%, 19% for Trump. If you're 50 years or older, the older generation, they are overwhelmingly voting for the Democrats, for Kamala Harris at 86%, only 6% for Trump. College degree or more individuals at 84%. These are black people, 7% to Trump. No college education or degree is 74% still for Harris, and at 15% for Trump. What does this say? That still overwhelmingly black people are going to vote, whether you like it or not. Black people are still going to vote overwhelmingly for the Democratic Party. And the people that are going to vote for Trump are like a small fraction. Now, could that small fraction have an impact on whether she gets elected? That's very well true, because Joe Biden, as we already know, Jim Crow Biden, who cut a deal with Strom Thurmond here for he wrote that bill that put a lot of black men in jail. But y'all forget to give blame to Bill Clinton, who signed that bill. Joe Biden still, despite doing that shit, is still got more votes than Kamala Harris. when he got elected, as well as Hillary Clinton, both polarizing figures. So while Barack goes out here and campaigns for her and shits on black men about how we might be sexist and that's why we're not voting for her, instead of asking us what our issues are, what are our concerns, you just shit on us, man. While at the same time, Barack doesn't shit on black women because black women are only down with Harris at 70. What? Let's put it back up here again. Let's make it be known. They're only down with Harris at 79%. Now, if you say, hey, those numbers can't be right, well, let's use some more receipts here. This is from Newsweek. Kamala Harris suffers polling below among black women. Okay, she was polling below black women. We take this back to July, but this is still relevant, everybody. Let's put this up right here. According to surveys, black voters at 78% plan to vote for Harris in November. 15% support Republicans nominee Donald Trump. And I've said that again. Okay, 74% of black voters who said they plan to support Biden before dropped out of the race in July, but essentially down on 90%, and he received when he beat Trump. So I'm just showing you some more receipts here that came out of studies, out of data, that there was no need for Barack Obama to shit on black men and tell black men what we need to be doing. There was no need for it whatsoever, because black men are still overwhelmingly going to still vote for Kamala. So therefore, there was no need for Barack to do what he did. Let's go into a studio right here, visual studio right here, and let you see it.
Because my understanding,
and thank you everybody for being here,
based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that.
Let me say a few things to folks in the chat room. We got Oh Reliable, Tiffany Coates is in the house. What's going on, sister? Last Call's in the house. We got Jones. We got A View for a View. Good to see you over here. We got the Knight and the Bishop in the house. We got Brittany Dunn. What's going on, Brittany Dunn? I see you in there. Alicia, all the good folks in here supporting the channel tonight. We got Chaotic Rain coming in here. What's going on, Chaos Rain? We got Oh Reliable. Who else do we have here? We got Jay the Informant, a lady 747. I want to appreciate you. We got Sky's Kid in the house. We got Killings. Good to see everybody. The Gray Pill Podcast. Brother Frazier, GA from the Atlanta area. Good to see you over here. We got Bobo Anderson. I want to thank you all.
Information is power.
I'm just gonna play a little bit of what Barack was saying here, but he shitted on black men, and he had no right to do so because even black women are not voting at the high numbers, okay, that they did before for this woman. So what's good for the geese is good for the gander. If you're gonna jump on black men, why don't you have smoke for black women who are not voting for her? According to the polls, no, not according to the polls, according to Pew Research, it shows that this is the lowest votes that a Democratic candidate has gotten in terms of potential black voters in a very long time, if ever. Let's go back to this. Here's Barack Obama.
Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities.
Let me stop here. You guys have been listening to this, and I'm sure you've already seen the video. But once again, Barack, as I said before, and you heard on here, that he's in a campaign office. You've got black men there, but these are black men that are supporting Kamala Harris already. So I really don't know what he's trying to prove here. What is the mission here? What is the the purpose is basically to get underneath black men's skin and convince black men to get up and vote for her and support her. I get it. And then apparently she comes out with her black plan, her initiative for black economics, which is based in some cryptocurrency shit, some marijuana, going into marijuana businesses and what have you, and other things that she put in her plan that, I got to be honest, some of the things that was in her plan may be good for black men, maybe bad, good, what have you. But my point of doing this is to say that he shits all over any plan that Kamala Harris has when he gets up here and he calls black men out. But yet you didn't even call out the fact, you're not even looking at the fact that even black women are lagging in voting, man. Black women are lagging in voting. All right, I'm going to say it again. Black men at 73%. Black women are at 79% for Kamala Harris. This is the lowest of any election out of black men and black women. Black women ain't got her back overwhelmingly in the 90th centile. So why come down on black men when both black men and black women are polling in the 70-something percentile of wanting to vote for her? Mind you, black women are at 79, so that's a little bit higher than 73, but damn it, it's all in the 70 range. But you come down on black men and make us a scapegoat for this election. Remember when Hillary Clinton, everybody, put sevens in the chat room if you remember this. Remember when Hillary Clinton ran for president and she ran a terrible campaign, she lost. What did they do? They blamed the black community. Even though she still overwhelmingly got about 90%. This is crazy. Check this out. Check this out. I'm going to put this back up here again. I want to make sure that I have this right. Before Biden, he dropped out in July. Okay, received if election would be the first time a woman to hold the White House. Maybe this is the one that I want here. Maybe this is the one that I want right here. This one right here. There it is right here, babe. Besides that, okay, considering that Biden needed 92% of the black support to defeat Trump in 2020, and Hillary Clinton got 91% of the black vote in 2016, according to Pew Research. But you all realize that when Hillary Clinton lost the election to Trump in 2016, despite Hillary Clinton getting 91% of the vote, the Democrats still figured out a way to blame losing the election to Trump on black people. Let's hear some more of this.
Directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities. From housing.
Let me see what you're saying there. A lady 747. A lady 747 says Kamala went out and spoke to black men. Black men are the ones that told her they wanted to be in the crypto and weed business. Good point. Good point. I give you a clap for that. Now, thank you, Lady 747, for that clarification. I would say personally, it's just my personal thing. I think that, I mean, the business is lucrative, but cryptocurrency has been a lot of people have lost money in cryptocurrency. As I said before, it's kind of scamish. And I understand, cannabis is, you can make a lot of money in cannabis, but I think that black men need to choose more than these typical, stereotypical things. One, in Bitcoin, that has a lot of questionable things about it. And two, marijuana, you can make money out of it, but I'm just sick of us being associated with, substances and shit like that. But to each his own. You're saying a lady 747 that this is what black men ask for from her. But those black men who ask for those things, they don't represent all black men. Let's keep it 100% real. Those black men who are asking her for that do not represent all black men who might have other things that are important to us to grow in business besides just only crypto and something of the nature like going into the marijuana. But now I know that there's other things in her plan. I had a chance to look at it. There's other things in the plan that could be beneficial. But those two items that you just named right there are the ones that, for whatever reason, stick out the most to most people. We got Knight and King, terrible role model for young women. She, let me move on. Just Bobby Bowen. Obama made it worse for Harris. Yeah, Bobby Bowen, this is my point tonight. He did make it worse by coming out and going after black men in the way he did. Because whatever, and I'm going to play a clip from Tavis Smiley, who said the same thing. Okay, whatever goodwill Kamala Harris had developed with black men through coming out with her plan, by him coming out and talking to black men like this, he actually hurt what she was trying to do. So Erica, what's going on, Sister Erica? Like the avatar as well. She says $2 from, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that, Erica. Let me hit this for you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. Let's go with Brittany Dunn. What's going on, Brittany Dunn? Good to see you over here. She says, hey, Alicia, I'm glad to see everybody over here tonight. Let me see. A lady 747 is making some points tonight. She says, Kamala went out and spoke to, yeah, I read that. Good point there. I'm not going to deny what you said right there, sister. Good point. What's going on? The underrated darkness, the number one grinder. What's up, man? I appreciate you guys coming over. We got Hendrix in the house. Hendrix says, salute to just Bobby Bowman. Right.
Information
is power. Let's do this, folks. Let me just play a little bit more of this so I can get to other fresh video that you either have not seen yet or you maybe have heard about.
To making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine. And making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got health care and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person.
Now, I got to be fair here. When Obama talks about Trump having disregard, I got to say something. I got to show you guys something. Like I said, I believe in showing the receipts. Most people are just going to go with a person and just okay, I like that person, but you got to show both sides of it. And I'm going to show both sides of things on this channel tonight. But one of the disregards that I didn't like out of Trump recently is that Trump had a rally, everybody. And in that rally, he was constantly talking about how he wanted to go back to 300 years. Everybody, I'm going to play this. I want you to listen to this. If we go back 300 years, black people, we will be in slavery. And when he came out with that phrase, make America great again, that is a dog whistle for white supremacists. Trump actually has a lot of white supremacists that support him. And whether you want to vote for him or not, I got to just say this. How can you reconcile a man who has a lot of white supremacists that support him who do not like your ass? Check this out.
Wow, look at those beautiful swastikas. There we go, white power. Hell, Trump. Yeah, make America white again. Woo, woo, woo. We're out here in Jupiter, loving it, loving the good weather, blue skies. Woo, make America white. Let me see that sign, brother. Let me see that sign. There we.
You hear what they did? Did you hear that? They said they used the N word. They said ends, and then they talked about Jewish people. So you got a lot of these Trump or mega supporters of Trump who subscribe to the white supremacy. And that's just a fact, whether you want to agree with my premise there or not. It's just a fact. Look at Trump in a rally where he talks about he wants to take us back to 300 years. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat room, where were black people in 300 years ago? If we go back to the past 300 years ago, what was the status of black people 300 years ago? I want everybody in the chat room to write that in the chat room. What was our status when this man said this?
We will deploy ICE, DHS, and other federal officials to go in and liberate Aurora. Can you believe I'm saying this? Can you believe I have to say this? We are going to liberate parts of our country. Let's go back another 300 years. We are going to liberate our country.
Boom. Trump says clearly, everybody, let's go back another 300 years. Where were black people 300 years ago? Let's see what you have to say in the chat room. Let's make this very active tonight. Oh, Reliable said this. Straight up slavery. Nightfall Drop says the GOP have been riding that racist horse since Nixon. Thank you. Erica says slavery. Brother Just Bobby Bowman says slavery. A lady 747 says slavery. And I appreciate you, my sister, a lady 747, for we need facts. Okay. And you did say something factual that there were black men that were asking for that. That is true. And Catherine and Friends, make sure you subscribe to her channel. Good sister here. And she's Catherine and Friends. And hello, friends in chat. Hello to you, good sister. And let me see. Divine Perfection is in the house. Nikki, what's going on? She says peace and love to all. And where would we be, everybody, if we go back 300 years, according to what Trump just said? Thank you, Sister for Life. Thank you very much. And a lady, let me see what you put here. Thank you for that super chat. $10 super chat from a lady 747. Trump is playing into the divide between men and women. Let's not pretend red pill and the black manosphere attitude. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, good sister. Thank you for that super chat and all that good stuff. Clap to you. And let's give you some love.
Thank you for the super chat.
Information is power.
Thank Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
All right. We got another super chat coming in right now. Let me see what we got here. We got the I love your avatar on your thing, brother. It looks great. Night Falls Drop says the problem with the idea of mega is that it forgets the addition of war. Interesting. Lady 757, I'm in the manosphere. We have global influence. Beautiful thing. Let me see. Lisa Jackson gave me a super chat. She says here, $5 from Lisa Jackson. Obama lost his mind by talking to black men like he was their father. Wrong.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
And I give you a little love as well.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
All right. Oh, I got more to show you because check this out again. Let's hear it one more time.
Back another 300 years, we are going to liberate our country. Did you ever think
I want you to hear it one more time about liberating the country. Check this out. 300 years.
believe I'm saying this? Can you believe I have to say this? We are going to liberate parts of our country. Let's go back another 300 years. We are going
Go back another 300 years, and even the black people that support Donald Trump, your ass will be in shackle slavery. You'll be on a plantation. You'll be picking cotton. You'll be saying, yes, sir, boss, and no, sir, boss. You'll either be a field Negro, as Malcolm X talked about, or you'll be a house Negro, okay? You'll be living in shackled slavery. You'll be living in little shacks, picking cotton, just like our ancestors who had to struggle through these sort of things. You'll be in a situation where they could sell off your family. If you have a child with your woman, they could sell that child off to another plantation. They could separate you from your family. They could hunt you down. They had bounty hunters hunting your ass down. That goes for the Negroes that wear the mega hats, that support Trump. That's what you would be in under Trump's plan of going back 300 years. Your ass will be in shackle slavery. And that's a fact. Then we have to keep this in mind. Trump has this dastardly plan that he wants to give police even more immunity than what they already have from the federal level. Remember, he said this right here.
That we're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job.
Okay. He said it. I didn't make it up. He said it. I didn't make it up. That's what came out of his mouth. And going back, and I've got some things to expose Kamala Harris as well, because back in the Bay Area where I lived, grew up at, you had a brother by the name of True Love who was wrongly convicted under her administration. And I'm going to let you hear what he had to say. Because he said, hey, I want Charlemagne to ask her about what she did, what her office did to me, because he came on the Breakfast Club at one point in time and talked to Charlemagne and a whole bunch of them. And he's wondering why they're not asking her these questions about Brother True Love and what they did to him. I'm going to show you that at some point in time. But I want to show you that Barack Obama has a history of talking down to black men. Do you guys remember back, some of you that are millennials, you probably weren't alive. If you're Z generation, you weren't alive to remember this. But many, many years ago, Barack was talking down to black people, and Jesse Jackson, that's right, messy Jesse Jackson, got caught talking to somebody, what he thought was a muted mic, but it was still a hot mic. and he said he would like to tear Barack's balls off because he said he's talking down to black men. Check this out. This is the old article from back in the day, y'all. Check it out.
Presidential nominee Barack Obama. On Sunday, Jackson had just completed an interview with the Fox News channel and made the following comment, he says, in reaction to a recent Obama speech on the morals and responsibilities of African American men. Presidential nominee Barack Obama.
Now, let's go back and let's bring this back to what Jesse Jackson was saying. He didn't like the way that Barack was talking down to black men.
An interview with the Fox
He
News
whispers
channel and made the following comment, he says, in reaction to a recent Obama speech on the morals and responsibilities of African American men.
So he says here, I see Barack's been talking down to black people on this faith base. I want to cut his nuts off, is what Jesse Jackson said. So he didn't appreciate Barack talking down to black folks in that situation, and particularly talking down to black men in that situation. How many of y'all remember that? That was way back in the day, everybody. If you remember this, put sevens in the chat room. If you remember the day that he said all of that, at that time, if you were alive and alert to what was happening, let us know. Now, what I want to do, because I bring receipts here, is I want to go back to the reaction studio right now, and I want to show you what Sister Turner had to say. Nina, she had some powerful words to say when she was on CNN about how Barack shouldn't have approached black men in this way, because black men, no other men in the country, are being dealt with in this way, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. This is pretty powerful stuff here.
Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a mentor, literally a tour of media to appeal to men.
They need to appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice. But to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem, too. Why are black men being lectured to?
Boom. This is key. Why are black men being lectured to? Very much a key. Let's see what's going on in the chat room right now. Knight and the Bishop. I am issuing votes also. I don't care if Kamala is green. Good. Everybody has let me just tell you something right now. I'm not going to sit up here and browbeat black people over who you choose to vote for. I simply show the receipts. People do what they're going to do. Because what I notice on social media these days, everybody's trying to group think and pressure people into voting. You vote for who you choose to vote for, but you need to recognize what their dirty laundry is too. Before you vote for these people, understand who you're voting for, what you're voting for, and I gotta say this too. I gotta say this. Whether you agree, like, or disagree, Kamala Harris's plan for black men, the point I need to make here very clearly is where is the black plan from the Trump administration? Where is Trump's black plan for black men? Where is Trump's plan for the black community? Where is his plan? Because remember, once upon a time ago, he went down an elevator, right? And you got Steve Harvey to the right there. I talked about this before. And Steve Harvey kept talking about how he was going to get things for the black community and blah, blah, blah. This is why he's hanging out with Trump, because he feels that if Trump's going to be elected, let me get some inroads with Trump to get some things for the black community, and Steve Harvey has yet to this very day to tell us and show us what did he get for the black community in his entanglement with one Donald Trump.
Tell the truth.
That's all I'm saying, everybody. That's all I'm saying. Let's hear this. And I want to thank, before I go anywhere, I want to thank Lisa Jackson saying I don't have to vote. I'm definitely not voting for cracking. But thank you for the super chat. Again, clap to you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Appreciate that. Let's hear some more right now. Let's go here. This is Nina Turner.
Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama, but for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And what, as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote.
Didn't I just say that? Black men do not vote that much differently from black women. Currently, black women are at 79% for Kamala Harris. Black men are at 73%. Let me show you the comparison in contrast. 73% for black men for Harris, 79% for black women for Harris. Check this out. When Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, when he ran, black women were at 93% and black men at 83% for Joe Biden. She's absolutely right. Even though you have some black men out there that are saying they're not going to vote for her, and black women may not vote for her, and they're taking their votes over to Trump or maybe Kennedy or any of these third-party candidates, like a Cornel West, for example. At the end of the day, black women and black men, we get on these social media streets, and you hear black men saying, oh, black women, the Democratic Party is run by the black women, and they don't vote like us and think like us. Bullshit. Black men are still at the largest numbers are still vote Democratic, just like black women. Even though the Democratic Party tends to cater to black women more than they do black men, when you look at the votes over the years, at the end of the day, black men still overwhelmingly still vote for the Democratic Party, and they're still going to overwhelmingly vote for the Democratic Party, whether it's Harris or whoever. They're still going to vote for them as of now. It's still going to happen. Even if you got 15% of black men, black women, whoever, who wants to peel off and put their votes in the hands of Donald Trump. These are just facts. But what Turner's saying right here is facts as well.
My message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women.
Facts.
And as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Waltz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think...
But I wanted to say this. It was Obama who created this problem. Because to Harris's credit, she was attempting to try to reach out to black men with her plan that she put out. And she had already said publicly that she know that she has to earn, or she did know that she had to earn black men's vote. It was Obama that put the bullshit out there and created this narrative that we heard throughout the news political season so far. She created this problem. She created this bullshit. I mean, no. Let me correct that. Take it all back. It was Obama who created all this bullshit when he went out there and talked down to black men. I'm going to say what I said in the beginning of this podcast. All Obama had to simply do was to tell black men, this is what the plan is for you. This is why I think you should vote for her. Not based on the sexism shit. He shouldn't have accused black men of that. He simply should have said, this is why I think you should vote for her, black men. If you're considering not voting for her, well, this is what her plan is for you if you elect her. And this is what she has done for you under the Biden administration. This is what they have done for you. And also, he should have said, we are willing to hear what you have to say to do better for you. And then to listen to black men by listening to black men's concerns for why they are sort of iffy on her. That's the approach that Obama should have took. And if he would have took that approach, Obama would have been praised. He would have been hailed as a good politician. He would have been given claps.
Tell the truth.
That's all I'm trying to say, everybody. Let me see right here. Where do we have this here? Thank you, Lady 747 for the $5 super chat. This is reminding me of black men going pow pow because someone stepped on their shoes. Well, but you got to admit, though, a Lady 747, do they talk to any other candidates like this? Do any other group of men get talked to like this? I'm just saying that black men are not the only ones that are questioning whether they want to vote for her. There's other men who have their reasons. So why is it that if black men say, hey, why are you guys just pointing at us? I mean, I'm just saying I get where you're coming from, but they're always pointing the finger at black people. Every damn election. $5 from a Lady 747 says, this is reminding me of a black men going pow pow because someone stepped on their shoes. Sensitivity is over the top. I get it. There's some people that say that we shouldn't be sensitive to this. We should take it on the chin. Why cry baby about it? But the problem I have, I'm gonna say it again. Why don't they go talk to other men like they talking to us? If they don't like the fact that there's some black men out here, and I'm going to say it again, it's not an overwhelming number of black men that are not voting for Harris. Don't get caught up in what you hear on social media, on people's panels. You listen to social media. If you listen to people on these social media panels, they will, in these Twitter spaces, they will have you think that every single black man is going to vote for Trump. That's not true. There are certainly black men that are going to vote for Trump, and you ain't going to change their mind. And there are certainly black men that are going to vote for Harris, just like there are black women that are going to vote for Trump. These are just the facts. We can't control what people are going to do out here with their votes, how they feel about stuff, you know. Money, we've got Money Boy Fims in the house saying, hello, everybody. What's going up to you, man? What's going on to you? Welcome. Hendricks is coming in the house. Kendrick says this. He says, whoa, interesting, a lady. Yeah, I know there's a big debate in the chat room, but at the end of the day, let's not fight each other, black people, because we got to do whatever we think is in our best interest for whatever our reasons. You know, we all could be making wrong decisions and whoever we vote for, but both these political parties, in my opinion, are problematic, okay? At the end of the day, they are problematic. They've been problematic for decades. Let me play out the rest of this and get to the next clip.
Sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman?
It might be some listen, black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe a part of it? But again, is President Obama and is the Harris Waltz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing
This is not just about...
I don't think so.
It's not just...
And let me let you hear what Nina said on this clip right here. That I thought was very interesting, everybody. Check this out.
And you know what I think, Crystal and Sagar, if Vice President Harris loses, they setting it up for black men to take the fall.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And it's wrong.
Now, how many of you up there let's take a vote right here, everybody. How many of you believe that if Kamala Harris loses this election, how many of you believe that if she loses the election, that they will make black men they'll make them the fall guys, that they will say, as she just said there, that if she loses, black men will be blamed for the loss? How many of you believe this? By putting sevens in the chat room. If you believe that Barack Obama saying what he said to black men so publicly as he did, and looking at what the numbers are right now in terms of the between black men and black women, how many of you believe that if she loses the election that they will some kind of way find a way to blame black men? Remember, in 2016, when Hillary Clinton ran, she got 91% of the black vote. And when Hillary Clinton lost the election, who did they blame it on? They blamed it on black people. These are the facts.
And you know what I think, Crystal and Sagar, if Vice President Harris loses, they setting it up for black men to take the fall.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And it's wrong.
All right, everybody. Right now, we have a lot of people putting sevens in there. Alicia's putting sevens. Earl Owens, what's going on, man? Good to see you over here. Nightfall Drop says facts. A lady 747 says, who is they? Saying, who is they? A lady 747 says, Haitian Americans have to hear Haitian migrants are eating pets. Right. Let me just address that issue. As you guys know, when J.V. Vance said what he said about people in Springfield, I'm not buying that banana in the tailpipe story, but they cause a lot of problems. First of all, the people in Springfield that are Haitians, they're not illegal. They were allowed to be there. They were given work visas. They were brought over from the United States of America to help out a community. The Springfield, Illinois community has had a loss of population. They were struggling financially. They had factories and jobs there that they could not fill because people were leaving the town. The town was losing population. They brought the people in, gave them job opportunities. They worked, and now the town is doing better, is flourishing, is doing better. But this is a place that a lot of people abandoned. So because they were their population was abandoning the town, they were leaving, and they wasn't having anybody coming in that were quote unquote Americans. They brought Haitians over, and the people that live in that town said that this has been the best thing that's happened to them, that business is doing well. And then J.V. Vance and Donald Trump, with their racism, their white supremacy, and their racism, their white supremacy, made those lies up about they're eating dogs and cats, and they're telling you what they think of black people. You notice whenever they talk about black immigrants, they acquaint black immigrants with animalistic behavior, like eating dogs and cats. This man got up here talking about they eating dogs and cats with no proof, and the governor of the town or the mayor of the town said that shit ain't even happening. This is just some shit that was created and manufactured by the mega Trump followers in the Republican, racist, white supremacist machine. And even J.V. Vance admitted on the record that he's willing to lie to make his point. He's willing to lie to win this election. He's willing to lie. This from a man who said that Trump is the most horrible person that he ever came across. This is J.V. Vance, who's soon to be maybe your vice president if they win this election. That tells you right there that if he's willing to lie, and Trump's been lying all along, if they're willing to lie in a campaign, how much are they willing to lie about if they get in the White House? That whole thing was against, I don't care if these people are immigrants and they come from another country and they're not black American and all that. These are still black people who are being harassed because of the lies that Trump and J.V. Vance made up. These people were getting death threats put on them. These are black people that were getting death threats put on them. I don't give a damn if they come from the continent of Africa or from the Caribbean and Haiti or Haitian or Cuba. I don't care if they speak a different language. I don't care if they have a different culture. At the end of the day, these are black people being treated and harassed Have we as black Americans forgotten how black people in America were harassed by white folks that had guns and weapons and harassed us when we lived in these southern towns where we had to walk? If we were walking on a sidewalk, we had to walk in the streets because you weren't allowed to walk on a sidewalk past white people. Black people weren't allowed, black men and women weren't allowed to kiss in public where white people were at. We weren't allowed to look at white people a certain way. We weren't allowed to do anything. We were being terrorized. Well, the Haitians in Springfield, Illinois, they were being terrorized by the lies that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance made up. That was white supremacy at the end of the day. That was being orchestrated. So the question is, do you support, this is my question to everybody, do you support white supremacy? That's the question. What's the answer? You got to answer that for yourself. Because that shit was crazy. I got to admit that it was crazy.
There's beautiful swastikas. There we go. White. Make America white again. Woo, woo, woo. We're out here in Jupiter, loving it, loving the good weather, blue skies. Woo! Make America white. Let me see that sign, brother. Let me see that sign. There we go, man. My Pillow, 1488. Yay! Wow, look at those beautiful swastikas. There we go. White power. Hell, Trump.
Now, that guy who's a My Pillow guy, who's a Trump supporter, I did some videos, ladies and gentlemen, and I talked to you about white supremacy symbolism, that they like the number 14, they like the number 88 because 88 is a number that Hitler used. And what did they do? They put up a sign of the Mike Pillow guy and they put 1488. That's their white supremacist symbolism. I did a whole video about this. Look into my archives and look at the videos I've done about white supremacist symbolism and so on and so forth. That's what you saw right there. Just that sweet and simple, to the point. That's just what you saw. That's what you witnessed right there. That's where I grew up in Michigan. I'm biased against white power. See, a lot of black know nothing about this. Thank you, sister. Yeah, a lot of black people don't know nothing about it because we're too caught up in our little, man, my parents came to America legally and got amnesty under Reagan. I could get you a quote from Mexico cartel members to illegal smuggling. All right, but we're not here to talk about cartels or illegal smuggling, what have you. We already know what the cartels have been doing. That ain't no new news. But this ain't about the cartels tonight. Let me go to another video. This is the Travis Smiley video. I've been wanting to get to this. But before I get to this, do we remember the things that Farrakhan warned us about these political creatures, the Democrats and the Republican clan? Have we forgotten about what they're really made of, what they really are about? Have we really done that? Check this out. Let's listen to Farrakhan break it down to us.
When my brother, Tavis, held up two papers, one a letter from the leader of the Republican National Committee, one from the leader of the Democratic National Committee. These were words from persons who are a part of the liars, the deceivers, who have promised us. And what I said in my few minutes, you're not dealing with the real powers. That man can give you a promise that he can't fulfill because there are powers behind him that can undermine anything that he says. Go to the White House and get a promise from the president. He's not the power in America. He's a front man for power.
Did you hear what Minister Louis Farrakhan said, that the president are, I said this, presidents are figureheads. They come around every 4 to 8 years. They're just figureheads. They don't represent the complete power. It's the people behind them that represent the power. You've got people in Congress that have been in Congress for 40, 30 years. Look at Clyburn. He's been in Congress for over 30 years, longer than any president. Presidents are figureheads. You still have other branches of government that control this country. Farrakhan is completely correct here in his assessment.
In America, he's a front man for power. So when you don't know who you're dealing with, you take the lies and deceit of these people into your heart. I am telling you, Black America, don't you believe the false promises of your former slave masters and their children. And that's why the Bible says we war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness that is in high places. And none of us are sitting down with those boys that pull those strings. So any promise made by anyone else, don't pay it any mind.
Did you hear what Farrakhan clearly said there? Take that in, assess that, evaluate that for yourself, everybody. I had to play that. I had to let you hear what he had to say. Now, let me go to my man right here, Travis Smiley. He had a candid, he has a radio show, and he said some things that were very, very powerful that I want you to hear tonight before we get to conclusion. And here is Travis Smiley, who, I got to be honest, this brother has always warned us about Barack a long time ago when I was a big supporter of Barack, Obama, when I was caught up in the hope and all the hope speeches that he gave. And Cornel West and Travis Smiley were very big critics of him, and a lot of people dismissed what they had to say. But now I admit to this very day that Travis Smiley was 100% right about Barack. He knew what the hell he was talking about, as well as Cornel West at that time when they were very critical of Barack Obama as it relates to a black agenda for black people. But let's hear what he had to say here.
For credit, Vice President Harris has been pitch perfect in her appeal to black men. She has said repeatedly, I know I need to earn your vote. So why did Barack Obama stray so far away from campaign messaging on this thorny issue? Why create a distraction? Now we're talking about him, not her. When you've been the big dog.
Good point. I said that throughout this stream, that he created a distraction. He created a problem. He should have never went there with that when she was trying to make headways with black men.
For so long, you still think that you're the pack leader, when what we need from you right now is to do no harm. What happens if this meltdown does not convince more black men to vote for Harris? What happens if these black men remain salty with Obama over his remarks? Clearly, this represents a risk for Democrats. Number 3, have you forgotten?
Travis Smiley, that's right.
Have you forgotten?
But listen to this.
That after Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and Barack Obama pushed Joe Biden off the stage, that Obama wanted an open primary.
Boom. I said this in the beginning of the show. This is why it made no sense for Barack Obama to say what he said to black men when he himself was not convinced that Kamala Harris was the one, that she was she. He wanted an open primary, and he was right. They pushed Biden out the door. Obama was a part of that. Nancy Pelosi was a part of that. They showed him the door. Yes, he had to step down because the man was becoming like Bernie's weekend. He was becoming like Weekend with Bernie's and stuff like that. Meaning he was losing his mental faculties. And believe me, Trump's not very far from that either. Have you heard Trump speak? how he slurs his words, how he says things that are nonsensical, how he makes no sense. This man needs to have a mental health evaluation and a physical. We know that Kamala Harris has already shown her physical. She's already submitted it, and she's got a good bill of health. But Donald Trump is a walking sack of this man is a walking hospital of low health. Okay? What's going on, Dominique? I'm telling you. Are we sure? We got my man Nightfall drops his Information Man show. Just a thought. Do you think Obama push was deliberate? Remember when McCain was riding high until Bush 2 came out and endorsed him, lost overnight? I mean, let's just be honest. We know that Biden had to drop. We had to look, whether we like that Biden was pushed out or not, it is a fact that Biden had to step down. There's no way that Biden was going to be able to run an effective campaign against Trump. It just wasn't going to happen like that. Okay? We're not going to sit up here and pretend that that Biden was going to be foolproof to win this election under the conditions of his mind was falling apart. Let's hear the rest from Travis Smiley, who makes a good point. He says that Barack, they pushed Joe Biden out, and then Barack wasn't in the beginning pushing Kamala Harris. He was asking for a primary while asking black men, why should you, while telling black men, talking down to black men and telling us how much we should vote for her. This Negro had reservations his damn self.
Tell the truth.
Barack Obama had reservations his damn self.
Tell the truth.
Listen again.
Barack Obama pushed Joe Biden off the stage, that Obama wanted an open primary.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala Harris was not his first choice.
Uh-huh.
Remember the op-ed that George Clooney ran by his friend?
She wasn't his first choice. So just like black men have reservations about whether they want to vote for her, and they had a right to have their reservations based on whatever those reservations were, even Barack himself, who points his finger and wags it at black men, just like he did to black men at Morehouse, when black men were graduating from Morehouse, and he's sitting up there telling them about excuses and I don't want to hear your excuses. What do you mean? These brothers have just matriculated through college. They're getting ready to go out into the world and conquer the world, and you sitting up here talking to black men who graduated from college like they're little ants. And you had reservations about her too. But at some point you came to your change of decision. Well, why can't black men have their own process of coming to their decisions, whether they're going to vote for her or not, just like you, Barack, when you wanted to primary the woman? You see the hypocrisy? You see the bullshit right here?
Tell the truth.
Barack Obama, before it published in the New York Times, in truth, Obama wanted to push Biden and Harris out the way.
You hear what he said? Travis Smiley said that in reality, he wanted to put both of them out the way. He wasn't for Biden anymore, and he wasn't for Harris. He wanted her out the door as well, everybody. If you're hearing what I'm saying, if you're with me, put sevens in the chat room. We got Dominique in the house. A lady 747 has been rocking with us strong. She says Obama is not the king of democracy. Yes, I agree with you, sister. He's not the king of democracy, and he's not the king of black people. Appreciate what you just said. We got Peggy Roster in the house putting 7s in there. We got Divine Perfection, Nikki C putting 7s in there. Alicia with a 7. Appreciate you all rocking with me. Let's get back to this. This has been a great night.
Black folk were not having it, and Obama got caught up in a squeeze play. All I'm saying is just keep it 100. Let's not get amnesia. Let's not fail to connect these dots. Number 2, all that said, how do you now lecture black men about not showing up for Harris when you were the last one through the door?
Facts. Barack Obama was the last one to give her endorsement. Remember how everybody came out and endorsed her? And everybody kept wondering, what is Barack and Michelle going to do? We haven't heard from them in a long time. And at the last minute, he endorsed her. But another thing you got to realize too, everybody, this is how the political game is played, the tricknology, the politricks. Isn't it interesting that Barack Obama has only started now campaigning for her? What took him so long? Once he endorsed her and he came out and spoke at the DNC convention that was not too long ago, why did it take him so long to come out and start talking? And then when he comes out after all this time being dormant, now he wants to talk down to black men about what we should be doing with our votes. You see the hypocrisy, the bullshit.
Tell the truth.
Endorse Kamala Harris. In truth, black men had already lined up behind Harris before Obama showed up late. Perhaps the better strategy last week would have been for Obama to tell black men how he got his mind right, what process he went through to change his mind and support the sister. But that's not a lecture, y'all. That's not a stump speech. To me, that's a town hall meeting in conversation with black men.
Didn't I say that earlier in this podcast? Put 7s in the chat room that Barack should have actually had like a town hall meeting where he's talking with black men, not down to black men, not at black men, but with black men. And then he could have gotten black men's opinions and thoughts and their concerns. And he could have gotten what they want out of the campaign. And he could have gotten an understanding of why they were sort of not sure about whether they were going to support her. Why didn't Barack do that? If he would have did that, that would have actually benefited Kamala Harris. It would have gave her a bump. It probably could have increased her in getting more black men on board had he just come to black men and had the conversation in a respectful manner, because we know that Barack wouldn't talk to white folks like this. Let's be honest, okay? He wouldn't talk to the Jewish community like this. Come on now, damn it. He wouldn't talk to the white community like this, the Jewish community like this. He wouldn't go to the Latino community and talk down to them like this. He wouldn't go to the Asian community and talk down to them like this, the Russian community, any damn community in this country, except for black folks. These individuals would not come and talk to those people like that the way they talk to us, because this is what it is. They have no respect for us. The Democrats have been taking black folks for granted for God knows how long, for decades. They've been taking us for granted, taking our vote for granted, figuring that they got it automatically, so they don't need to come to us and solicit us for our vote. They don't have to come to us and say, hey, what do you want for your vote? No, they don't do that because they simply feel they got our vote in the bag.
Tell the truth.
And I want to say thank you, Lisa Jackson. Obama paid the half-breed no mind. He doesn't speak for black men. Oh, my God. And, oh, my goodness. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it all. I wake up.
Tell the truth.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first.
All right. Let's get back to what Travis Smiley is saying here. Let's hit it.
not talking down to black men. That's a dialogue, not a monologue, where your tone is suspect and your decibel level keeps rising as you try unsuccessfully to connect with the folk you're speaking to in the room. And the number one reason black folks should not have been surprised at Barack Obama's smackdown is.
Let me hold up and read a couple of things here. What's going on, Shaka? He says, Obama ain't the only one. Simps always back females, then wonder why black men are falling off. Very interesting point there, brother. 07, what's going on, brother? Let me see what 07 is saying here. Why does he keep saying Travis? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying the name wrong. Sorry about that. We got Brother Smiley here. Let me see here. TMC. He was beyond consenting. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I put that R in there. Travis. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'll just call him. I'll go with Brother Smiley. Sorry about that, brothers. Sorry about that. I've been saying the first name a little wrong there. Let me read Dominique Jones. Apologize for that. Obama was dating white girls all throughout his life until he got deep into politics and figured a black wife would benefit him. Yeah, I've heard those stories too. Very good point. Everybody's making good points. Let me hear what Hendrick is saying. Obama seems to have disdain for black men. I see a pattern. Yeah. Wait till you now check this out. Wait till Smiley wait till you hear what Smiley says next in terms of how Barack saw his blackness, how he looked at his blackness, how he defined himself in his blackness in his campaign. And now you'll understand why Obama tried to distance himself from black issues. Wait till you hear what you're going to hear next. We got Knight here saying this. Hillary lost because of her personality and because she tried to run out the clock. Yeah, but she also was polarizing. A lot of people didn't like her and her husband Clinton because she was polarizing. She also made that statement about super predator. She called black men super predator. Remember that? And she ran a really bad campaign. Okay, she ran a really bad campaign. Yeah, he got a channel on YouTube. He actually does he's involved in a radio show in Los Angeles, and they they have his radio show broadcast into YouTube as well. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, he also broadcasts through what's that, WVON in Chicago during the week in the afternoons. But let's get back to what he's saying here. And sorry about the name mix up there, but here we go.
Because this is not some new or strange phenomenon. Let me put it this way. If you were surprised by Barack Obama's comments last week, new or strange phenomenon. Let me put it this way. If you were surprised by Barack Obama's comments last week, I can tell you who was more surprised. Care to guess? Barack Obama. I know he is still scratching his head. I've been talking down to these Negroes for 15 years. Now they're going to act all brand new like they don't know me? Help me, Holy Ghost. No, y'all know who I am. I'm the one who at the Congressional Black Caucus dinner told y'all to stop whining, stop crying, stop complaining, take off your slippers and go do something. I'm the same one who admonished black men during my commencement address at Dr. King's alma mater, Morehouse College. Somebody rescue me if I'm wrong. I'm the same one who gave black men the business at a black church on the south side of Chicago, wait for it, on Father's Day. Y'all know who I am. I'm the one who sang Amazing Grace in South Carolina.
Woo. You hear what he's saying? All of them are making me disgusted. Trump, Kamala, Obama, the alt-right niggas who won't learn, etc. What's going on, brother? Narratives and Dialogue. Good to have you over here, brother. Woo. He's going at it, y'all.
Church on the south side of Chicago, wait for it, on Father's Day. Y'all know who I am. I'm the one who sang Amazing Grace in South Carolina. I'm the one who broke y'all off some Al Green at the Apollo in Harlem. Now you acting all funny style. Y'all Negroes know me. I'm the one who told you repeatedly, I am not the president of Black America. I'm the president of all America. Y'all Negroes are killing me.
Wow, y'all. Y'all heard it for yourself. And let me go up in here and take a look at some of the things that people are saying. I'm just taking a quick look. Dominique Jones is in the house. Jesus Price is in the house. Shaka's here. Gotta be independent. Both parties are whack. Yeah, I agree with that, brother. We gotta be independent. Vaughn Bryan is in the house. Thank you for sharing my links and everything like that. Yeah, they go to the Travis. Let me see. Let me get this correct here. Tavis Smiley. Tavis. The Tavis Smiley podcast. I appreciate you all putting it in there. Let me see what like we can't think for ourselves. That's right, Peggy. We can think for ourselves. And Tavis Smiley is not going to I think Tavis is telling the truth. Speaking the truth, and I like what Tavis is saying because he's exposing some things here. But guess what? He's gonna expose some more. Check this out. Here's another one. This one is the one that's really going to reveal some things here. Oh, yeah. This one is the one, y'all. Check this out.
Let's talk politics with the former communications director for Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris, Ashley Etienne. Ashley, good to have you on this program.
This sister right here is Ashley. She was a communication director in the White House with Barack, who you see right here. She's been in the White House, even where you have Kamala Harris. They go Kamala Harris with her right there. That's the sister to the right. So she has experience. She has inside information about Barack and how he really gets down, or how his campaign and the people around him try to insulate him from the issues of race. And the sister tells it like it is when she's on Tavis Smiley's show, and she exposes some things. This is why Obama never really embraced the blackness. Okay, this is why when you were wondering and scratching your head, hey, why is this brother seeming like he's above race? Because that's the way they were pushing this man on us. Check this out. Check out what she's going to say here. Just wanted to set that up for you. Here's the sister right here. This is who you're going to be hearing talking to him. Check this out.
Let's talk politics with the former communications director for Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris, Ashley Etienne. Ashley, good to have you on this program. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. I should mention that Ashley is currently the CEO of Etienne and Saint, and I am pleased to have her on this program. Kamala Harris, of late, has been on a media tour, Ashley, as you well know, appearances on 60 Minutes, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Howard Stern, The View, the list goes on. Before I get to all of that in detail, let me just ask you what you have made so far of the way she's handled this media tour. There was push, as you know, against her that she wasn't doing enough interviews, wasn't getting out there enough. Well, she answered that question with a whole litany of conversations. I just ran down some of them. What's your sense of how she did or has done?
Well, I think she's been doing spectacular. But if you don't mind, I'd love to step back to your opening monologue about my former boss, Barack Obama.
Sure.
Can I just tell you what I do appreciate about you most is that you bring all of the receipts. And I think a lot of it people were unaware of and probably hadn't taken stock of. And when you hear it back to back to back to back, it paints this really clear picture. The one thing I wanted to add is you're absolutely right about the sentiment that was within the White House. I was on the 08 campaign and then transitioned eventually into the Obama White House. And there was a sense, a clear message that was sent to us on the staff that Obama is above race, that he has ascended race. And we are.
How many of you heard exactly what this sister just said here? This is why he could talk down to black men. This is why he never really dealt with black issues. And remember, black men were taking a beating under his administration with being taken out of here by cops. You all remember the things that were happening. And what she's revealing is that his campaign, or not his campaign, during his campaign in 2008, all the way into his presidency, they tried to paint Barack as being above race. And I think it put a mindset. I think Obama had the mindset himself that he was above race. And the one thing in American society that you have to remember is that race always matters, because this country was built on race, slavery, defamation of a people. This country has been divided on race. They use race even today to blame people. Racism is going on. How many of you in the chat room, by putting sevens in the chat room, are aware of the young black man who was walking in a neighborhood that he lived in, if I'm not mistaken, and you had white folks trying to harm him, talking about, what are you doing here? You even had one trying to pull out a gun, a black man walking. We're in the 21st century, 2024. And a black man still can't walk in his own damn neighborhood, minding his own business, harming nobody. And you got white folks, the ones that support Donald Trump, trying to harm this brother. And I'm going to ask everybody again, do you support white supremacy? Do you support the white supremacists? Do you support white supremacy and those that support white supremacists? Didn't he say that there were very fine people out there in Charlottesville? Didn't he say to the Proud Boys to stand down and to further notice? Huh? Have y'all forgotten about that? Let me play this.
Not to talk about him. I mean, this is the unspoken part of it all. And I'm just going to say it out loud, which is, we are not to talk about him as a black man. In fact, I remember when I did an event with.
They were not to talk about Barack Hussein Obama as a black man. Then what were you supposed to say about the Negro?
Nas down in Norfolk State, and they were like, make sure you don't have Nas talk about his song about having a black president. Like, we don't want to associate ourselves with that. And that.
You hear that? Remember, Nas came out with a really cool song talking about my president is black, talking about Barack Obama. And I guess when they went to Norfolk State or wherever they went to campaign, I think Nas was in attendance, and they didn't want Nas to sing the song that my president is black. They did not want to connect Barack to the song and to black people in that way. They've been running this game on us ever since, y'all. And so this Negro has the nerve to tell black men who we should vote for, why we should not vote for this person or that person, while at the same time claiming that we may be sexist. Yet this Negro, when he was running for president and when he was in the White House, he did not want to be identified as black. He did not want to be associated with it, telling Nas not to sing a song at a campaign stump that he went to, or some function that he was at. His people telling Nas, don't sing that song.
allowed, which is, we are not to talk about him as a black man. In fact, I remember when I did an event with Nas down in Norfolk State, and they were like, make sure you don't have Nas talk about his song about having a black president. Like, we don't want to associate ourselves with that. And that really bled into the psyche and the thinking of the people around Barack Obama, and it affected the decisions that were made. Now, when you think that the president is above race and therefore he is above black, that influences everything he does. And so I remember being in those rooms begging for more attention after Michael Brown died, right? A visit to the family, a call to the family. I mean, doing more at each.
You hear this? This sister right here was calling for Barack Obama, the magical Negro that some wanted to call him, for Barack to do more, for his administration to do more when Michael Brown was taken out of here by that cop and when he was deleted. And the Obama in his administration wanted to minimize it because they wanted to move away from the issue around a black kid being killed, because it would also force Obama to deal with a black issue in himself, to speak up for black issues. Hear this again.
That were made. Now, when you think that the president is above race and therefore he is above black, that influences everything he does. And so I remember being in those rooms begging for more attention after Michael Brown died, right? A visit to the family, a call to the family. I mean, doing more at each one of these points. And we just got, ran into a brick wall. And it was primarily because of the people he had surrounded himself with, who he's now sent over to Kamala Harris's campaign.
Boom. Do you hear what she said? The same people who did not want to deal with the race issues within his administration, in his campaign, and Barack didn't want to see himself as black, are the same people that are in Kamala Harris's administration. They just jumped from Obama to Harris, which is why it is appropriate for us to call Kamala Harris Obama 2.0, because she's got the same administration that he had, or the same people working with him on her campaign that he had working with him. There is the sister right there to the right, Ashley, who's talking, who worked for Obama, spilling the beans and telling the truth.
But the sentiment there was, we're above that. And so any concerns of the community, we're above even addressing in a lot of ways. And so that was really hurtful as, a person who's black first and a woman second, and a Democrat way down the line. But so I'm glad you actually put all of that stuff together, because it really is important as we talk about what kind of a leader we want. Now, if we transition to the vice president,
hold that thought. We ain't gonna transition that fast. I did not want. So as you can see, I've been at this a long time, Ashley, as you well know. And it is not my way to put up on people to comment on my own commentaries. I did not want to put you in a spot. Didn't want to put you in a box. As you saw, I went straight to Kamala and did not intend to pull you into my opining today. But since you went there,
no, but you were absolutely right. I mean, he was the last one through the door.
He was,
Explain that, please, sir. Right?
Yeah, but
Then made an argument. And then made an argument, not to be disrespectful, all due respect to my former boss, but then it made an argument against her that was made against him.
That's right.
Which is that maybe she's not ready.
That's
and I'm
right.
like, are you really?
Boom. That was the argument that was made about Obama when he first ran, that he was not ready, that he was not experienced, that he was still a young senator. The same arguments that was made against him, he made against Harris. This man was making those arguments against her. And like Smiley said, he didn't want both Biden or her running, which is why Obama originally called for a primary, because he wasn't on board with her. And then he has the audacity to come to black men and tell us about who we should be voting for, and that maybe it's our sexism. No, maybe it was your sexism, Obama. Who knows? Let's hear this.
That's right.
I thought. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You weigh in.
You're keeping it real, Ashley. That's what this program is all about. We are trying to tell the truth. Speak the truth to the powerful and to the powerless, but that's what it's about. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. And too many Negroes listening right now even are still in their feelings. I'm looking at text messages and emails from my friends, from my colleagues, still in their feelings, even when you bring the receipts. Some people don't want to face the truth. I digress. I love y'all anyway, and there ain't nothing you can do about it, but you're wrong.
I agree with Smiley right now, because I did a video on my channel breaking down the truth about the fact that Donald Trump is not the primary person responsible for giving money to black colleges. He simply jumped on something that was created by a black woman, okay? Miss Amo, this black woman right here who created the Futures Act. She's the one responsible. Miss Amos, she's responsible for the money that the black colleges got. She put forth the budget. She put the budget together. She put forth all the effort. A lot of people don't realize I showed the receipts in my video that Donald Trump wanted to zero out the program for black colleges. It was this black woman that got in the way and told him, oh, you will not do that. And Donald Trump likes to take credit for what other people have done and act like he did it. It was this black woman who's responsible for black colleges getting their permanent money. It was her that increased the budget. Matter of fact, the budget was even more increased under Biden. Even if you feel some kind of way about Biden and Harris, yes, sir, it was increased even more under them. Do your damn research. But I put a video out there, and just like Smiley said, he got Negroes that's in their feelings, even when you show the damn receipts. And I showed the damn receipts on my video showing that Trump ain't responsible. Trump didn't come up with the plan to give these black colleges more money. He simply took a plan that was already created before him and tried to use it for a photo op with those black college presidents and to ingratiate himself as being, I'm doing something for the black people. And little do most of you Negroes know that Trump wanted to zero the black college funding out. It was that black woman right there who got in the way of his bullshit and made sure that they got what they got. So even though he signed a little document, he was forced to do this. It was pressure put on him because he wanted to zero the whole damn program out. Now, I put that video out and you still got Negroes. You still had Negroes on YouTube leaving me messages talking about, well, Trump did this. Well, Trump did that. Even when you get receipts, because people are so caught up in these coated personalities, people are so caught up in their feelings and their emotions about these individuals. Even when you show them receipts that these individuals are not who you think they are, they'll get caught up in their feelings. Just like I can show you proof tonight, which I will, that Donald Trump ain't the billionaire you think he is. He was make-believe, everybody, because I've got the guy who produced his show, The Apprentice, who came on CNN and spilled the beans about Donald Trump being a phony. He didn't even have the money that you think he had. They manufactured him into this image that y'all buy into.
Having said that, I did not realize that you were going to come the way you came with the truth that you just told. I want to quote that just for a few minutes, if I might.
Sure.
How do you, looking back on it all these years later, square? How do you juxtapose that when he wanted to, he wrapped himself in blackness because he knew that he had these Negroes in his pocket. So when he wanted to, he wrapped himself in this cloak of blackness. But on the inside, what you're telling us is that y'all were telling him he has ascended above race. Don't put him in a racial frame. Don't let Nas talk about the black president. Don't do this. Don't do that. No, we ain't going to St. Louis with Michael Brown. We're not doing that. He is above race. He's transcended race. We ain't talking about race. We're not putting him in that frame. But every other day when he shows up, as I said at the Apollo, and sings Al Green, race. Yep. Amazing Grace at the Black Church, race. I can do this all day long. So explain to me how you process looking back on it. That
he's telling the truth, everybody. And the illusion that these politicians put out there to manipulate us. So here you got Barack Obama talking down to black men, uses being black when he needs to, but for the most part doesn't want to be anywhere near it unless he has to deal with black people. Now, there are some that say that Kamala Harris is the same way, that she all of a sudden becomes black when she's around black people because she needs something from you, like your vote. There's a lot of people that say that. Well, Barack Obama operated the same damn way. But to be honest with you, all politicians behave in a certain way to get votes from everybody of every race. All these politicians behave in a certain way when they're trying to get your vote. They will cater to whatever it is you need. Now, when it comes to black people, they don't tend to cater to what we want. They simply tell us you better vote or you're not black enough, like Joe Biden, right? You don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black enough. If you don't vote for Kamala Harris, you're a sexist black man. You are a nincompoop. You're all these different things, right? These are some of the things that you can be accused of. Let's go to Tone Talks, who I clipped a little bit of his video. He made some really powerful points here, everybody. I want y'all to hear this. Very powerful stuff here. Check this out. Tone Talks.
Crazy out here. So we got Kamala, we got Trump. Black vote is scattered. Got grown men running households with no life insurance, no health insurance, talking about Trump. All right.
Now, you know what? Now, I'm sorry. He makes a good point. It's true. You got Negroes hollering about these politicians, and they haven't even done the most basic thing that you should do. Get your ass some life insurance for your family, to protect your family. But yet you're willing to protect these politicians and argue and debate about them. And you ain't even got a pot to pee in and a window to throw it out of. My God.
In outreach to black men, Harris to vow to legalize weed and protect crypto. What is this woman talking about? She's about lost as sauce when it comes to the black vote, and in particular,
Thank
black
you, Dominique.
Men. That is not how you outreach to black men that are largely collapsed financially. We know the numbers. Unemployed, no.
So what he's saying is that, a lady 747 said that this was stuff that black men asked for in her outreach to black men. Harris vows to legitimize weed and protect crypto. Even if black men that she talked to, because these guys don't represent all black men, even if those black men that she talked to are asking for those things, there are other things that are actually more important that black men need to have within business, business is important. If you can be successful with crypto, so be it. Crypto is something that I want to stay as far. I'm biased against it. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm staying away from crypto. I've seen too many people, even on YouTube, famous people being scammed from this crypto stuff.
Wealth, a lot of talk, a lot of bark. And what she gonna do is legalize weed and protect crypto. How that don't help white folk? 310-388-3499.
Yeah, it's gonna help white folks.
Explain.
That's what's gonna help.
These two things not primarily help white folk.
Yeah, it's gonna help white folks.
I want to talk.
They're gonna primary benefit from it because white people got the cannabis business locked up. They got it.
I don't know if you went to UCLA political science classes. I didn't see you, this guy, with the sketch. Trump needed the black vote too. He don't need it as bad as Kamala.
Right.
This is not as
right. He's gonna need the black vote, which is why you got people concerned about black men peeling off from the Democratic Party and Harris over to him. He needs some of it, but he doesn't need it as bad as Harris needs it. Because once again, when Joe Biden beat Trump, he beat Trump because he got an overwhelming number of black votes in the 92 percentile of it. So let's go back.
I'm going to show later the numbers. The black vote is so consequential in key swing states. How do you not know that and you talking about politics?
Right.
They both need it. Probably the different numbers, but they both need it. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of craze out here. 310-388-3499. Starting with Kamala. She's about as scattered as it comes, both ethnically and politically. She's been everywhere on fracking. She's been everywhere on immigration. She's been everywhere on reparations. She's been everywhere on every political point, to the point where we don't know what she stands for. But we do know she did this Kamala for Wakanda craziness, this fake country. But we have a black celebrity class that has buddied up and created the reason that black folks are starting to turn into love for Trump. Well, I believe without black celebrity, Trump would not have this energy. No typical Republican candidate could get the support that Donald Trump is having, and that largely, to me, came out of hip hop, along with black celebrities selling themselves. Because that's what they do at these little events and stuff. They sell their presence, 5,000, 10,000. And so you got Lil Wayne with Trump, the Hood in the building. You got Ye with Trump. Remember Ye was running for president? You got Serena with Trump. You got Snoop with Trump. Snoop everywhere now. He's doing The Voice and everything. Can't sing a lick. You got Diddy with Trump and Melania.
Mm-hmm.
It is this doorway that makes Trump a Trojan horse for black political needs.
Facts.
You don't even know you've been programmed through the songs and the music to love Trump.
You hear what he's saying? This is a fact. Because you had these rappers hanging out with Trump. And remember, Trump is a transformational individual. And these rappers are hanging out with him because they want to get something from him. But most of these rappers that were hanging out with Trump, they didn't represent the black community. They weren't doing anything for us. Look at the guy that he was hanging out with. You got P. Diddy. Look at what P. Diddy's been doing. He's been hurting the black community with his freak offs, harming women, harming men, taking advantage of black people.
You have been programmed to think of him as somebody that represents ascension when all he does is represent failure. Can I talk about it? I just want to talk because there's two sides to this coin.
Facts.
They didn't gave us no options. So because of that, what y'all doing is just hollering in the dark. 310-388-3499. I want to talk about it.
Let me stop it right there. A lady 747 made a good point. She says rappers have been simping about Trump in their music for decades. Right. They've been simping for decades. We got M Music Man in the house, 1982. What's going on, brother? I'm experiencing Trump to win. I'm expecting Trump to win. I can't wait to see what blacks get out of this. Right. I'm going to tell you right now, if Trump wins and all the black folks that's been going around singing his praises, if he wins and he doesn't have a concrete black plan for black people and black people don't benefit anything out of his administration, I want to find out what you guys are going to say. Because in my opinion, most of these people that's been chopping up the bents about Trump, when he gets in and he don't do nothing for your ass, I bet you on the social media streets, on YouTube and everywhere, it's going to be so quiet you're going to hear crickets. Because ain't nobody going to come out and admit that they was wrong. Let's get back to it.
First caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Mr. Antonio? This is Christian from Fayetteville, North Carolina. How you doing, sir?
What up? This is my young. So you grew up in an era where these rappers were rapping about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to ask is, how did that impact your generation seeing Trump? Because I don't believe that a typical Republican candidate could garner this level of support at all.
I think it just speaks so beautifully to what you broke it down for now, truthfully, probably over a decade, about the effectiveness of what the decadent veil did to our politics. Because, there's no... I think part of the reason, because even when you talk to, because I had the opportunity, Trump and Kamala both came to Fayetteville, North Carolina. I didn't get a chance to see Kamala, but I did get a chance to see Trump. And one of the things that I've even noticed with even a lot of his white supporters, they think there's a chance that they could beat him. Now, with some of them, they might be right. Here's the problem.
See right there? There go Donald Trump. There go his wife, who you could find who you could find online, showing her whole body. A first lady showing her whole body on Hustler magazine and one of these little magazines, nudie magazines. There go P. Diddy himself, the Diddler himself, who's been doing horrific things, right? There go Al Sharpton, who will get on MSNBC every week telling you how bad Trump is, but yet you were kicking it with him. There go Russell Simmons, who's ran his ass over there to Bowie somewhere, and you can see him on your Instagram every week giving you inspirational talk, looking like a yoga and all that kind of stuff. And he's talking about this man's supporters, the same supporters that I've been showing here. Look at that. These are some of his supporters he's talking about with the swastika stuff, y'all. Let's continue.
Vote for Trump. That'll push you into this class that you have been systematically locked out of on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it even speaks beautifully to the fact that, too, like on the flip side, even with Kamala, I've had some folks from her campaign calling me. The amount of disrespect, especially when they find out that I'm a black man, if they ask about it, the amount of disrespect that they come to me with. I even had one lady who she told me she was an immigrant, told me that my reasonings of wanting a black agenda, more specific for myself, she said I was being...
All right. So let me move on because we're getting close to conclusion. I know it's been a long podcast tonight, but I'm glad I was going to do this yesterday, but I'm glad I did it tonight. And if you are getting some value out of this podcast tonight, definitely put 7s in the chat room. Let me know if you're getting value out of this. If you're getting some good information here. If you're getting information that's reinforcing how you already feel, or maybe you're getting information that you're surprised about that you weren't that aware of. Let it be known in the chat room. Put it out there. But before we get out of here, I've got to play this. This was on CNN. This is the guy who was a producer or was involved on The Apprentice. And he says that Donald Trump is a complete fraud, that they manufactured his image, the image that everybody has ran with, that he's a billionaire, that he's this and that. The man is nothing more than a con man. People in New York had already told you about this, about Donald Trump. And let me let you hear this right now, a little bit of this at least. Here we go.
I helped create a monster. Miller admitted NBC's fluffed up image of an ultra successful businessman was, quote, highly exaggerated and categorized it as fake news. He also offered up some behind the scenes details like Trump's alleged pitch to have a black versus white season.
You hear that? Trump wanted to push the race thing with the black versus white. Did y'all know that?
Season of The Apprentice. Miller says his first reaction, WTF.
This guy was an executive
Joining
on
me
this
now, the man
Apprentice.
who wrote that op-ed, former NBC chief marketing officer, John Miller. John, good to see you. The op-ed really thought-provoking. I mean, can you tell us about the Donald Trump you knew back in those Apprentice days and how you spun his image?
Music Man, what's going on? Music Man, 1982, brother.
Businessman, and
check this out.
People
How many
were
of y'all
trying
seen
to
this?
do that. The idea was you didn't win a date, you won a career. And the show, I didn't produce the show, but I did produce the promos for the show.
The promos
or
for the
lead
show.
The team that did the promos for the show. The whole idea was that you would get a chance to be with a top business executive, and then you would win a prize, and then for a full year you would be with him. And the thing is that not many CEOs actually have the time or the desire to have somebody that was a reality show star come on and be in their inner circle. Donald Trump had no problem with that. He had the time. He liked the adoration. And so in order to make it successful, we had to make sure that the idea of you were going in for a big businessman. And in truth, he had bankrupted 4 of his businesses. And
you hear that? He had bankrupted 4 of his businesses, and everybody says that, hey, he should be in office because he's a great businessman. Donald Trump was never a great businessman. He inherited his money from his father. And if it wasn't for that money, Trump would just be like any other goofy person out there in New York, struggling to make ends meet. This man is not self-made. He self-inherited his daddy's money, his same daddy who was also a person who liked the Ku Klux Klan, would fight with the Ku Klux Klan against the police in New York, Fred Trump, a man who discriminated against black people when it came to housing, a man who also would not repair. This is another piece to it that everybody doesn't realize. And I talked about this in one of my previous videos about Trump and Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's father would not prepare a apartment complex that he owned in a really good part of Maryland, I think Prince George's County, where it was predominantly black people lived, and he was failing to repair things that they were complaining about that needed repair. So therefore, his father and Trump were not only sued by the federal government over housing discrimination in New York, but his father also went to jail and was being prosecuted for what he did not do for another community where you had mostly black people living, where his father was not fixing stuff. And Trump was involved in a lot of that housing discrimination with his father because they had secret codes that they would use to identify who was black and who wasn't black. That's all been put out there. I put that out there. That's been out there. So this whole thing about, oh, boy, Trump ain't racist. He even had a black girlfriend. I don't want to hear that nonsense, too. You've had plenty of racist white men who have no problem with trying to get themselves some black poutine, okay? All right?
Tell the truth.
You've had white racist slave owners in the past who would mess around with black women in the slave quarters. You had Thomas Jefferson who impregnated a black woman and had black kids and still treated them like slaves. So this whole thing about, oh, if he got a black woman on his arm, that don't mean nothing. White men have always had a habit of messing with other people's women, even though they don't like your ass, black man. We got a great super chat here from my man Larry's Anything Goes LLC. Says $20 from Larry. Anything goes. Speak on it, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, brother, for that super chat. I really appreciate you coming over and supporting the channel from time to time, brother. I really appreciate it. Let's get back to what's going on, Dominique. What's going on? We got Hendrick rocking with us tonight saying the wealthy use bankruptcy as a business strategy, but I see your point. Thank you. Yeah, they do. No. Don't get me wrong, brother Hendrick. Don't get me wrong, brother Hendrick. You're right. They do use it. But you notice one thing, brother? Soon as the poor in the middle class, soon as we figure out what the rich is doing and we use the same thing that they do to maintain our wealth, they change the laws because they don't want all of us being able to benefit. They only want a certain class of people to benefit. And you're right. You hear what I'm saying. You hear where I'm coming from, brother. I appreciate you on that. Trump has at least 3 baby mamas, just another Dusty. Jackie Gaines is in the house. What's going on, sister? She comes in saying, Dominique Jones, my apologies. Oh, what's going on? Everything okay in the chat room, everybody? I hope everybody getting along in there. Let me see. But when you're the elite, like Campbell, Trump, Daddy, Kanye, you don't go to prison for crimes. You just pay unless you piss off the wrong. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The wrong person, the wrong people. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Let me see what a lady 747 is saying. Bankruptcy is a horrible strategy because it leaves investors holding the bag. Correct.
Tell the truth.
Just like I've been looking at a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'm very fascinated by it, everybody, about Ponzi schemes and MLMs, multi-level businesses, how people get ripped off and investing in that. I've been looking. That's why I kept talking about how I don't trust crypto. I've been looking at a lot of videos about people who invested in crypto, lost all their money. I'm not talking about just regular people. We're talking about celebrities, well-known people who were involved in it, people that were promoting these cryptocurrencies to us as regular, everyday people, and then people invest in it and lose all their damn money. It's really a damn shame. How many of you guys know that Al Pacino, I found out that Al Pacino had lost a lot of his money in bad investments. And that's why he had to do a couple of movies that he didn't want to really do because he needed the money. So I'm saying well-known people get ripped off every day with these sort of things. Dominique, let me see what Dominique is saying. We all Good Information Man show. We all, okay, cool. Let me get back to this. Let me do this, everybody. Bear with me. Let me get back to, let me play this a little bit more of this so that I can get close to a conclusion for tonight, everybody. Here we go.
It was not all that successful, but in order to make the show a success, we had to make him as successful as we possibly could.
Did you hear what he said? That Donald Trump was not as successful as a businessman as a lot of people thought he was. So they had to make the show successful. They had to pretend that he was very successful as a businessman. So it was all Hollywood bullshit when it came to their print. And a lot of these people, especially a lot of white folks who are part of his mega movement, a lot of them fell in love with Trump based on this show. And a lot of them are too goofy to realize that all that shit on that show was make-believe. Trump wasn't this great businessman. It was all orchestrated to make him look a certain way. Just like Tone Talk said, it's to condition people to believe in something that's fairy tale. It's like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain who has no powers, but he's working gadgets behind a curtain to fool you.
And that was the conceit of the show. And, when he was just a businessman and it was just a TV show, that was one thing. We were doing it for television. Quite honestly, when you're promoting television, you exaggerate an awful lot of things. As I said in the article.
You hear what he said? When you're doing television, you exaggerate a whole lot of things.
We're making mountains out of molehills all the time. We did that. Sometimes they were good shows, sometimes they were bad shows. But when we marketed them, they were always the best show you had ever seen, until, of course, you had seen it. And in this particular case, as we're now only less than 20 days to the election, I simply felt it was very important, pursuant actually to your last guest, who talked an awful lot about the economy, where people were thinking that Donald Trump was an expert in the economy, when we effectively made him seem like a great businessman when he was really a small businessman that had a bunch of different LLCs. And if they went bankrupt, he could protect them by making them sort of weeding them out.
He had a whole bunch of LLCs that he could protect by weaving them out. Also, Trump talks about putting tariffs on China. That is foolish. Do you know that the Chinese don't pay for any of this shit? If Trump puts tariffs on American on goods, the American companies are the ones that pay the high price of the tariffs. And then the American companies will push that cost onto us as a consumer. So if Trump gets in office as well and pushes this tariffs that he don't even understand how it works. Most people listening to him don't even understand. And they think that, he's going to put tariffs on all these goods and it's going to make China and all these other countries that are ripping America off pay all this money. No, it's not. China ain't paying a damn thing. These other countries ain't paying a damn thing. What's going to happen is American companies are going to pay. Tariffs ain't nothing but a tax on import. It's an import tax. How many of y'all know that in the chat room? Put sevens. It's an import tax that the American companies are going to have to pay for. Thus, for me and you, when we go to a store to buy a car or go to anywhere, we're paying the higher cost. Congratulations to the dummies out there that think that Trump is a smart businessman and that tariffs are going to work the way he's talking about it. How goofy can you be? This man right here is telling you that he was a small-time businessman, wasn't that big. Everything on Apprentice was make-believe bullshit to make you think he was bigger than what he was, and you brought on it, you bid on it, and you brought it sink, line, and sinker. And that you think that he's a smart businessman when he's not. Not to mention that college that he came out with where he was ripping people off of their college tuition, ripping them off, which is why Trump University no longer exists. My God, everybody.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling the damn truth. I don't care how many out there are sore about the truth. Nothing I'm saying, everything I'm saying is a fact. Deal with it.
economy when we effectively made him seem like a great businessman when he was really a small businessman that had a bunch of different LLCs. And if they went bankrupt, he could protect them by making them sort of weeding them out. And to a large degree, it was a creation for a TV show. And we were very good at it. And some people say, well, I didn't see the TV show. And I said, well, I bet you saw the promos.
Sure.
And the promos were like little messages that I called little fake news messages that covered America like a snowstorm. And
well, if you didn't see those promos as well, you would have certainly heard Trump talk about it, because you actually write about it in the piece, how Trump used to constantly lie about the show's ratings.
Yes.
And if you take a little bit, not even a small leap, to think about those tactics, helping him develop his now political playbook, right?
Well, yes. I mean, one of the things that I noticed in dealing with him very early in the show, he would call me first thing, and I was on the West Coast at that point. He was on the East Coast, and so I was pretty sure that he had seen the ratings before. I had the ratings in front of me. I was probably not his first call, probably his fifth or sixth, but he'd call up and say, "Hey, John, how we do?" And I would say, "Very well," because we did do very well. We've just not we said #1 show on television, and I would say, "We did very well." And he would say #1 show on television. He would continue to repeat that, and he would repeat that well into the second or third season. And quite honestly, then he would do that for a press tour and say #1 show on television. And for the people who are covering television, they knew the ratings as well as anyone. And so when he was saying #1 show on television, they would just sort of laugh, but he would be undeterred in that regard.
Basically, at the end of the day, it wasn't a #1 show on television. Even though Trump kept repeating it, you can hear this man right here saying that, yeah, it's doing okay, but it wasn't #1 TV show on television. And that's an example of how he lies and lies and lies about any damn thing. And he does the same thing in the campaign as well, everybody. It's really a damn shame. But I know I've been talking about Trump a little bit here, and people are going to say, oh, you're just jumping on Trump, man. Well, hey, I got smoke for Kamala Harris as well, because she has some unfavorables as well. Let's go here and let you hear this. This is by a brother by the name of Jamal True Love. He's from the Bay Area, from the San Francisco area. This is a guy who I think he's a musician. He raps. I think he's done some television or some reality television. And this is a brother in San Francisco when Kamala Harris was the district attorney who got railroaded under her administration. They thought that he had took the life of someone. They were going to give this man 51 years to life in prison. And he said that Kamala Harris has never apologized to him. She's never talked to him, taken the time to talk to him. And he's not feeling a Kamala Harris. And he's a brother who has a story. There's other brothers who have stories. You have Miss Peoples, who Tone Talk interviewed, the whole truancy act that she had going there in California, where Miss Peoples was a victim of this. Her daughter had medical conditions, and she said that the school was aware why her daughter was not going to school, what was happening, but she fell victim to Kamala Harris's law, in which she was arrested, but then later on released. Kamala Harris did a press conference where she kind of laughed and giggled about, we arrested at least 20 people. It had the intended effect that we wanted to scare people into making sure that their kids go to school. Now, I understand that it's important for kids to go to school, because if you don't go to school, get your education, certain things can lead to crime and being involved in gangs and certain mischief. But the way this whole law was rolled out in California, it had some problems in it. But not only that, Jamal Love was railroaded in the community by the police. He's an example of a black man that was impacted by the law enforcement agencies. When we have a man like Donald Trump telling us how he wants to give police immunity, absolute immunity, as well as he wants to go back to 300 years ago when we were slaves, and let you hear this once more.
That we're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job.
You hear what I'm saying? And so here is an example of a brother in the Bay Area who was impacted by let the police do their job when he did not do the crime. He was completely innocent and railroaded by, Kamala Harris and her administration when she was district attorney of San Francisco, and she would brag and giggle about putting people to jail. But in this instance, she was putting to jail an innocent man. And here he is speaking his mind. He originally, at one point in time, I guess he was on the Breakfast Club talking to Charlemagne. And we know that Charlemagne has had an interview with Kamala Harris. And I'm going to play that tonight as part of our last segment of tonight's show. But this brother says, Charlemagne, why don't you ask Kamala Harris about me and what she did to me in her administration, right? Just like I told you my story when I was on your show, but you don't bring it up to her. And let's hear what he had to say when he said this. Here we go.
This message is for Charlemagne the God. As you know, and a lot of other people know, that I have 50 to life in prison, framed and wrongfully convicted under the office of Kamala Harris. Right? 4 years ago, we did an interview, and I remember you saying that you believe 100%ly that Kamala should give me an apology for what had happened to me under her administration. So I know you're doing the town hall tomorrow, the audio town hall with her. I would love for you to ask her this question. Does she has any remorse for the people like myself and others who were wrongfully convicted under administration in San Francisco? And if she does she have any reason to why something like this could have happened, not only to me, but to other people?
Let me stop it right there because it was kind of choppy right there. Let me see if I can play it back. Maybe there was some kind of problem. Let me play this again. Let me just play from this portion of it, not the whole thing from the beginning.
And others who were wrongfully convicted under
okay, that's in the video. I'm sorry.
Administration in San Francisco. And if
so he's basically saying, does she have any remorse for people that were wrongly convicted in her administration in San Francisco, like Jamal Truelove? And another thing I'm going to do, everybody, at some point in time, because I've got my connections to the streets in San Francisco where he's from, I'm going to try to get this brother on the show and talk to him myself at some point in time about what he went through. Because I think Vibe did a story about him. I played that for you guys before, but I'm going to see if I can reach out to this brother and get him on my show. But so that's what he's saying. Do she have any remorse about people in her administration, under her administration in San Francisco when she was district attorney, being wrongfully convicted of crimes that they did not do? That's a very good question what that brother's asking. And let's get back to him.
Does she have any reason to why something like this could have happened, not only to me, but to other people as well? And where does she stand on helping people that's wrongfully convicted under her administration come home from it?
Now, let's see if he actually does ask her that question, that young Jamal Youngblood. Jamal, let me go back in here. Jamal Truelove, not Youngblood. Jamal Truelove. Let's see if Charlemagne asked this brother Jamal Truelove. I want to make corrections here. The brother's name is Jamal. I had that one right. Last name Truelove. Look up his story. Google his name to get his full story, everybody, about what happened. You can find the articles. I dug up the articles when I did my other video, and I had this brother in the video. I took some clips from Vive or from what is it? Vice, not Vive. It was Vice News or something like that. I took it from. And Jamal Truelove, who you just heard from, Jamal Truelove, I'm repeating his name over again just in case I made a mistake with the last name. It's Jamal Truelove, not Youngblood. Jamal Truelove. And what he had to say, did Charlemagne ask her the question? Let's see if he ends up doing that. Let's see. This is Charlemagne in his audio interview that he had recently with Kamala.
Ask Donald Trump what his plan is for Black America. Ask him. I'll tell you what it is. Look at Project 2025. Project 2025 tells you the plan includes making police departments have stop and frisk policies. The plan includes making it more difficult for workers to receive overtime pay. The plan includes ending the ability of Medicare to negotiate drug prices. You know what we have done? He said he would. We did, which means that that's how we brought down the cost of prescription medication. His plan includes making it more difficult for working people to get by and to destroy our democracy. You know what he says he'll do? Terminate the Constitution of the United States.
That's right.
Let me remind folks, you know what's in the Constitution of the United States? The Fourth Amendment, which protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. And he's going to terminate the Constitution of the United States, which in most of those amendments, one thing or another was about a movement spurred by black people to ensure that we would be equally protected under the law. Come on.
All right. As you can see, Charlemagne asked her no questions. I don't think he asked her any questions about Jamal True Love. Now, that was a clip, but I don't remember when listening to more of this interview that he did with her, I don't think he brought that brother's name up, which is probably why Jamal True Love made that means on social media, because he knew that no one is addressing the issue of black men like himself who were impacted by Kamala Harris and her administration. So everybody, do me the biggest favor. Don't forget to, if you can, don't forget to subscribe to tonight's show. Subscribe, hit the bell notification. I definitely would appreciate it. Everybody that's here. I also want to say this to you. I'd like to say thank you for watching tonight. Like and comment on this video when you get a chance. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video in all your social media, your Facebook, your X, your Twitter, whatever you use. Drop it in your social, in your community tab if you're a content creator. I thank you all for watching tonight. It's been a hell of a show tonight. I'm going to say again, once again, make sure that if you enjoyed the Information Man show tonight, make sure you definitely, we're about telling the truth over
Tell
here.
the truth.
And make sure you definitely share the video and subscribe to the channel because I really appreciate it. We're going to be doing, what I'll be doing more is just like I do on the other channel. I think what I'm going to do is start uploading short clip videos. I've had this idea before, but just never got it going. But I am going to start putting more content on this channel, whether it be I go live, whether it be premiere videos, whether it be short videos that I do. I'll be uploading shorts in the short section of this video. And if you like the articles and the pictures and all that stuff that I put in the community tab, put sevens in the chat room, I'll continue dropping history, shaking, monumental pictures and history of great black figures that we look up to in the community tab. The community tab, to me, I look at it as a black museum, one of the best black museums on social media, on YouTube. And I don't want to sound arrogant or anything like this, but I am going to sound arrogant. I believe I have the best community tab, bar none, on YouTube, with the things that I drop in there, the information that I provide everybody there, history, pictures that people don't normally see of well-known, whether it be black celebrities from the past, black people doing great things, historical folks, legendary individuals, or articles about things that black kids are doing, or a black kid like that black kid, like the black youngster who I think he was on the Time magazine for making a soap, just great things that black people are doing. It's what we want to keep doing in that community tab. So make sure you subscribe to Info Media Reacts, as I will be dropping content over there as well that will be uploaded. I will try to drop some uploaded content on this channel, go live, just try to get things moving a little bit more on this channel more. Like normally I would go live on this channel like once every Sunday. I think I want to increase it to at least 2 times a week. I want to keep something going with content on this channel, because this channel would have been to me, this channel would be a lot bigger than it is if I was constantly going live on this channel all the time, which I don't. And that's really how you grow channels, is when you go live a lot, when you not just live, but when you upload content, when you keep content going on the channel constantly, it keeps you in the algorithms. And I just have never ran this channel like that, with that much content just popping out the way I do on the reaction channel. But I'll somehow try to balance it out as best I can. Make sure if you're a football fan, you like what's happening at CU with Coach Prime and the players there, make sure you check out Prime Sports Media. That's my football sports channel. Very good channel, doing very well. Get good numbers over there. Check that channel out if you are interested. That's Prime Sports Media. Another thing, check out the, once again, Info Media Reacts channel, where I react to all different types of videos like you saw tonight, but a little bit more intense over there, because that's pretty much what I do. I look at all different topics that are happening in social media, what's going on, and we may talk about it. I may do a reaction to it, right? So check that channel out as well. Another thing I will be doing on my radio podcast, whether it be the Information Man Speaks podcast, any of the podcasts that I have, I'll be uploading more content on there, new content, because everything that's on those radio style podcasts, it's old, it's from last year. So it's time to get that stuff cranking as well. Make sure you subscribe to the Information Man Facebook page as well, if you can. Information Man Show Facebook page. And if you join me on the Prime Sports Media channel, subscribe to Prime Sports Media on the Facebook. Follow it there. I got about 83,000 followers or supporters. I hate that word follow, but supporters. I have 83,000 on the Facebook page for the Prime Sports Media channel. All links are in the description. All links are in the description of my video, so you can click into links to get to these various places that I'm talking about. I appreciate you all tonight. Thank you for the sevens. Let's go back in here and see who we have here. Alicia, thank you for dropping those links. I really appreciate you. You're a great mod. You're a great woman, a great lady. I hope everything's going well for you out there in Chi-Town. I hope you are doing very good. Output is key. Yeah, Dominic. So for example, tonight I had about at some point in time, I had 63 people watching. This is how it works. Let me give you a little secret. So when you start uploading videos and going live, and let's say you got 100 people in your chat room watching you, or 63 like I had tonight, or 70 or 80 or 100 or 200, right? So after you have videos that go viral or videos that get a lot of views, what you want to do is drop another video very soon after that video, maybe on the same similar topic, maybe a different topic, because what will happen is when you get those many people coming over to watch you, YouTube recognizes that, hey, this channel is getting a lot of traction. So when you go live, they will send your notifications out to those same people, because when people come over and watch your channel, automatically you're going to come up in their browser. So everybody that's watching me tonight, you're going to be in the browser. And so you're going to automatically get the notifications when I go live. But if I go live tonight and then don't go live for a long time like I have, and I don't put more content out, then I fall out of the algorithm and I fall out of the blessing of YouTube to send those same subscribers who watched me, who came over in large numbers. But now when they come over in large numbers and they're watching the content, YouTube will then send my content out to another 100 here and there. That's how it works. That's why they always tell you when you do YouTube, be consistent, put out videos. Now, when you work and you have a job and you have other responsibilities like I have, you can't do YouTube like that, right? Because you got other responsibilities. So therefore your channel is going to take a little bit of a hit there, right? But if you frequently stay active on your channel, like putting community tabs, that's another secret, everybody. Put community tabs in your channel, because you can also get subscribers in the community tab, because your community tab goes into the algorithms. So doing community tabs, doing shorts, uploading small videos, all these sort of things can keep your channel relevant in the algorithm. So tonight I might have 60 people, but if I start going live a lot and putting out more content on this channel, I can get back the audience, that YouTube will bring me more audience and will start sending out the notification to more people who like my content. Because if you don't watch a channel for a long time, that person's channel falls out of your algorithm. And when you look at your browser, you won't see that person in your browser that much anymore, because you're not frequently watching them. The more you watch a person on YouTube, the more you're going to keep getting their notifications and keep seeing their videos in the browser. That's the secret to it. That's one of the secrets. So thank you, everybody. Let me see. Good to know. Didn't know that about the community. Yeah, if you put things in a community tab, it goes into the YouTube algorithms and you get people. I can tell you right now, I got 200 more subscribers on this channel. And most of those 200 subscribers, a good majority of them, came out of dropping community tabs. People found the community tabs, they liked them, and then they subscribed to the channel. Now, I don't know when they subscribe, did they hit the bell notification? Because if you don't hit the bell notification, then you never get the notification that I'm live unless you physically go to the channel. That's why it's important to tell people, please hit the bell notification. Because we already know that YouTube does a horrible job of sending your notifications to all of the people that support you. Like, I know for a fact that I should have bigger numbers on this channel, but YouTube is not sending out my stuff to everybody. Now, if I haven't uploaded or gone live in a while on this channel, then I understand why my numbers are going to be small in the beginning, and then it cranks up. You all, now, case in point, those of you who follow me on the Info Media Reacts channel, I haven't done anything on that channel for at least a year, maybe a year. And when I started doing stuff, and Alicia can tell you this because she follows me over there, or she supports me over there. When I started going live on that channel for the first time, I got very little traction on my, very little people came over. Once I kept putting out stuff more and more and more, and I got more polarizing topics and people were watching, the videos were getting more and more views and being out there. That's how it works. That's how YouTube works. That's why they tell you stay consistent. But let me get on out of here. I appreciate everybody that's listening tonight. I'll see you very soon. Everybody, thank you, Alicia, everybody. They push what and who they want. Right, Alicia, you are so damn correct. They push who and who they want. That's right. There ain't nothing else for me to say tonight. You are so on it. Jackie Gaines, everybody that's here, thank you. You all are so on it. You are absolutely right. YouTube pushes who they want, who they like. That's the bottom line, y'all. You are so damn you're so damn right about what you just said, sister. So let's get on out of here. Y'all take care. I appreciate your support tonight. Take care. Y'all take care. Peace. Thank you.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day. And when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turning to morning dew. Then you let's face it, baby, you know all the places. do. Your places like I do. My place like you do.
Tell the truth. Information is power.
Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock. We in our own zone. Make yourself at home. Get to know mine on the inside. Can meet at yours next time. And you feel refreshing. Lose control. You don't wanna go slow. For sure. We both already know your place is my place. Now my place is your place. Let's face it. Baby, you know all the places. Places. My place is your place. Your place is my place. Just face it. No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do. Issues, I know I got issues. Hate you, then I miss you again. Selfish, I can be so selfish. Spend more time when meeting your friends. Please forgive my attitude. I want my cake and eat it too. But a little grace would be enough for me to prove that, baby, you the remedy. You're my mirror, I can finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it. Working out my issues with you, with you. Crutches, I be holding crutches. Can't let go of any mistakes. Distant, sometimes I get distant. Stay away as long as it takes. Forgive my attitude. I need my cake and eat it too. But a little time will be enough for me to prove that, baby, you the remedy. You're my mirror, I can finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I
Tell the truth.